Welcome back, traders, for another backtesting session. I have Thinkorswim pulled up already, so I'm just going to jump straight into it. I did switch to the headset, so hopefully the audio will be better now. I did not like how the audio sounded from the camera, but let's go ahead and get right into it. I have the daily chart pulled up for the NASDAQ micros. And just to recap on what I'm looking for, this is the end of day on June 5th. Now I'm looking for price to come down into this daily void or this daily volume imbalance. So here I have my target labeled out. This fair value gap, I'm looking for this to play a role as inversion to push price down. So going into this week, I'm going to be short bias. Now there is a possibility that we may come up to revisit this previous fair value gap or even this larger fair value gap. So I got that in the back of my mind, but my goal, my aim is to aim for the downside into this daily void. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump down to the hourly chart and then change the day to the next Monday, the 8th. And we'll go ahead and go for 8 o'clock in the morning, of course. Okay, so here we go. The target is down here. I'm looking for this fair value gap to play a role as inversion. We can see that we did trade up to the high of it, came down. Not seeing any inefficiencies. There is a small fair value gap here, but on the medium time frame, I'm marking out the liquidity. So I want to see this high get swept. We could even take out this high, and then eventually I want to see it come down. I think this, or even this, these 2 points could be a good partial, and then ultimately I want to take it off at the target. Go ahead and drop down to a 15-minute, see if there's anything to see. Yep, so it looks like we do have highs up here, but I think taking out this high and possibly this high right here, I'm gonna go ahead and mark it out just in case. I think these would be good. Now it could even come back up into this fair value gap, but really I want to see this buy side liquidity get taken, and I'm looking for either displacement or a market structure shift or something to help me go down for the lows. I'm going to go ahead and go into the execution time frame, and let's go ahead and start skipping ahead. Well, first things first, looking for a sweep of the buy side liquidity. If I don't see that, well, probably won't take a trade then. It is a Monday after all. Mondays are usually a little fickle. Oh, 8:30 did not see much. We're coming up to the 9:30 opening bell. Okay, so we did get a sweep of the first buy side. Okay, there's a second buy side taken. I'm gonna just zoom out a little bit, see if we are gonna be taking those highs. See, go back to the 15-minute. Just take a look real quick. We see we have those highs up there. And let's go to today. A little bit time to load. Okay, so looking at the recent here, there are these highs. I would not be surprised if we go ahead and take them. Monday could be an up day, and then later in the week we go for the downside target. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure to watch these. Now I don't really want to see this high get taken, right? This is already above 25%. If it's gonna go down, I don't really want to see it go too much higher than this. So flipping back down to the 5-minute and just skipping ahead. So I want to see, so we took the buy side, perfect, taking these off, and I want to see displacement down or kind of a market structure shift. So if it's going to be a shift, it has to come down below this low. So right now, it's not really looking bearish whatsoever. Doing a little consolidation here, so this could potentially be a turtle soup. Or it just could consolidate for the rest of the morning. Maybe the PM session will give us something, but You know, according to the model, I'm not trading the PM session. So Monday, I'm thinking it's just going to be a rally up. It's already pretty much past the time window, so I'll go ahead and move on to the next day. First, let's take a look at the daily. So yeah, big rally up. You can see that I'm going to go ahead and move this fair value gap. It's going to be this one here with this low and this high. So here's a fair value gap. I'm going to change the color. This is the pure SIBI, so I'm going to make it red. Now I'm looking for the what am I trying to say? I'm looking for the rest of this week to start going down into the void down here. So let's go ahead and change it to the next day at 8 o'clock. Not even going to worry about the rest of the afternoon. Oops, I don't want to see the daily, so yeah, just quickly changing it to the 5-day, 1 hour. Okay, so we came back up. Now these were the highs I was looking for to get swept. We go ahead and just gonna move it. Just gonna move it, extending it over here because I'm looking at these buy side right here. It already got swept pre-market. So here we have a short-term low. Move some of these prices. I'll duplicate this one. Okay, so I'm looking for this low here to get taken out. Now we could go, now these are pretty flat, so we could sweep this one more time. And I mean, we already got, okay, I'll just leave this here just to note that we've already swept the buy side. So we could be looking for, we don't need to see like another sweep, is what I'm trying to say. And here's a big inefficiency. If we do start going down again, I will be looking to take a partial in this area, probably. Okay, so going into the 5-minute for today, let me just switch to a 1 day's view. That way, it would give us a little bit more of a bigger picture here. And now when I click the fast forward button, it's going to make the graph. It's going to zoom out on the graph here. So maybe I'll just stick with today's view. That way, we see with that action what's going on. So we did see price. Remember, it already swept the buy side liquidity, traded this displacement, and so far respected that. We got respect here, but then it came back up to reclaim this fair value gap. Now we're seeing some displacement here going into that. Now this could potentially be a trade, honestly, with this displacement, reclaiming this fair value gap. But I kind of want to see a sweep of the highs on the pre-market. So either this high or these highs up here. I want to see something before actually entering a trade. The low gets cleared. Now I want to see it come back up to sweep the highs and then another shift lower. Coming up to the 9:30 bell. Okay, rallying. I want to see the high get taken. We may not get that. I want to see it come up one more time, take out the highs. Okay, that's what I want to see, right? The low gets taken, so all the sell side has been cleared. Now we've taken the buy side up above this high, so we got some buy side cleared. And remove this buy side liquidity. We know we've already swept the buy side liquidity. Now remember, there are some highs up here. I don't think it's going to get taken. We'll see what's going on. Now I want to see a displacement lower, maybe get below this swing low right here. That would be nice for a market structure shift, and I'll be aiming for lower target. So here we go. We got a fair value gap on the 5-minute. A SIBI did not get respected, so no confirmation just yet. I see it 3 drives right here. 1, 2, 3 highs. It needs to shift lower, otherwise I'm not going to be taking the trade. Kind of looks like we are going to go for those highs I said that we weren't going to take, but yes, we are. All right, so it did take those highs once again. Again, no more time for the rest of the day. So again, a day with no trades. Let's just see how the end of day action for today went. So once took these buy side, it just pretty much went sideways. Clean up the chart a little bit. And before going to the next day, I want to go back to the daily chart just to see how price has behaved. So we did go up, but not a whole lot. You can see we still stayed within this daily SIBI. So perfectly fine. Today is what, Tuesday, so we could be looking for a midweek reversal. I'm still going to be bearish, looking for price to come down to this daily void. Now, where I want price mainly to stay in the lower half of this daily SIBI. If we start going above it, then I can maybe turn my attention to the all-time high, but right now, still going to have a bearish bias. Okay, go into the hourly chart before we switch to the next day. 8 o'clock, 8:15, close enough. Okay, and basically I'm marking out any of the buy side. We already, took buy side a few times. You can actually think of this as a 3 drives pattern, right? 1, 2, 3 highs right here. So if we start going down below this low, I would say, I would want to see displacement because we do have a pretty large fair value gap here. So either we get displacement or I see confirmation, then I'll be willing to take a short and aiming for a partial down here. Now there's still a pretty big gap down here. This could be a partial as well. So I'm gonna take off these lines. I think they're just distracting, honestly. And let's see. I want to mark out 50% of this fair value gap. So if we get close to 50% of this fair value gap, I will want to take a partial. Okay. So somewhere right there. So partial 1, partial 2, and then I'll aim for, well, I'm not going to be too greedy. I'm going to try to see if we can aim for the higher low right there. Of course, still got a target down there. So I mean, the model, I only have 3 targets, 3 partials. So I'll be out before we get to the daily void. Just going to take a quick look at the 15 minutes, see if we see anything. Maybe there's nothing insightful. I mean, it's respecting this 15-minute fair value gap and that 15-minute fair value gap, but just gonna go straight into the 5-minute now and start skipping ahead. So 8:30 news. Let's see if we get any volatility. It just kind of went down, so hopefully all the sell side got cleared. This next sell side will be below that low. I would like to see. I don't want to see it get taken before 9:30, and then I want to see 9:30 actually go up to take some buy side. So like here, relative lows, I hope this remains intact. I want to see this high get taken at the 9:30 open. Okay, so here we go, 9:30 open. All right, so it did take out the high that I wanted. I'll mark it out just so you guys know I was looking for this to get taken. And now I want to see displacement lower or a market structure shift. So we could take out the high one more time, but here we get the displacement. Now I'm gonna go ahead and look at where the risk would be. So I'm gonna remove this. That was the high that got taken. So here we have a fair value gap. If I enter on this fair value gap, my stop would be above the fair value gap here. And let me get time, not the angle, price level. Let me get the price on that. So at 865-ish. And if we trade at the low of it, would be 825, 865. That's 40 points, $80. So we could take one contract somewhere in here. Now if we go somewhere in the middle, let's say from here to here, and I gotta change the default. I use the consequent encroachment a lot more. And I'll go ahead and just switch the default here. Put in the price. Okay. If I enter around 834, so that will give me about what 30 points or so. With 30 points, I could do about 3 contracts. We'll just see. We'll just play by ear. I don't know. Let's see. Let's just go ahead and reference the spreadsheet. So today is the 10th January 2024, and we will take a short. Now the risk is going to be 16,865.25 for sure. Now if I enter at 16,825, you can see that it's going to be 0.8, so only one contract if I enter at the low. If I enter at consequent encroachment, 16,834, we'll just say 0.5. Oh, I thought I could take 3, but I guess the mental math didn't work. So I can still only take one contract to stay under 1%. So might as well just take it at the low. So we'll do 16,825. Let's go ahead and risk 40 points. All right, so let's take this away. Okay, so this is going to be my entry. And I do teal. If I do teal, that's going to signal to you guys that's going to be my entry. And my stop, I'm going to remove this first. And then my stop is going to be up. All right, so that's going to be the trade for today. I don't know. I mean, this could be a first partial, but it's not 1-to-1. You know what I'm saying? So I thought there was another target that I could aim for. Yeah, okay. So there's another short-term low down here. If I aim for this, that looks to be about 1-to-1. So we'll make this our target here. So here we'll just say P1 for first partial. And let's show the price too. All right. So 779, is that about 40 away? It is about 40 away. So yeah, that is going to be about 1-to-1. That's going to be where we take this trade off. Okay, so let's go ahead and skip forward, see if we get taken first of all. Oh, I messed it up. Okay, so actually my bad, guys. I went ahead and go to 10 o'clock because this candle was not done forming just yet. I needed to wait until this candle finished forming at 10 o'clock. So once that happens, you can see the entry price is actually going to be 838.75. So now if we go back to the spreadsheet, we have 16,865.25 as the risk. 16,838.75 is going to be the risk, and that's going to be, well, the entry. That's going to, man, it's so close to being able to take 2 contracts. Now what I'm going to do is take 2 contracts, but I'm going to take the other one at 50% of this fair value gap. So if we get to 50% of this fair value gap, I will enter another contract. I mean, I said I wasn't going to add, but I mean, it's so close to 2. But if price is a little bit better, we'll take 2, see how it goes, and I'll have it as a separate entry in the spreadsheet. So let's go ahead and see if that one gets hit. Skipping forward. Okay, let me go to better time frame to see this. So it didn't get hit. I may just have one contract for this trade. Now, the first partial, I guess, would that be a first partial? I guess it would. It's It's a 1 to 1. 65 to 38, about 27. So 27 minus that would be 10. I guess that would be a first partial, technically. I don't know. I didn't say ahead of time, so hopefully I don't get stopped out. I'm not gonna count it as a partial. Realistically though, you should take a partial there, but I'm not gonna count it this time. I just kind of missed it. Went a little bit too fast. All right, so we went ahead, got stopped out. Pretty bad. We did get that second entry as well. So yeah, going to be about a 1% loss, but definitely should have taken a partial below these lows. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull the spreadsheet back up. So if we have a separate entry here, 4, and we have the same risk price, 16,865.25, and the entry price was 6841.5. So yeah, between these two, you can see it was pretty much exactly 1%. So here we took a full stop out, and here, same thing, took a full stop out. However, if we did get that price down here at around 806.75, you can see that that was going to make up the loss that we took later on, but didn't count it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say we missed it. You know, sometimes that happens. Sometimes you miss the exit or something, or you get too greedy. We'll just assume that's what happened, and we exit out at 16,865.25. Took 2 losses, about 1%. I mean, technically 2 net losses, but really that was like one trade. That was the same idea. So let's go ahead and see what the rest of the day's action will be. We're at 10:30. Still got a couple hours. So we did come back up higher after taking out these lows. So we took out this high and we took out this high. We could be aiming for this high as well. For the high time frame bias, I'm still bearish, so just waiting. Here we started to get some displacement here. Now, first displacement, sure, you know, we did go through this fair value gap. I mean, we could try to take this, but you know what? Because we took a loss earlier, I'm gonna wait for confirmation. So you can see that we are starting to pull away, but then we went back in. Yeah, just gonna wait until we get another fair value gap. Just gonna wait for confirmation because you know I already took a loss this morning. Don't want to take another one. We are kind of getting close. We're at lunchtime now, so our time may be up. And in fact, it is. So gonna wait till the next day. See if these highs going to get taken in the PM session or next day. If they remain next day, we can look for it to be a sweep. But let's see what the end of the day looks like. Okay, we did go back up above these highs. So yeah, it was not, again, it was not a short day. So let me go ahead and clean this up. And we'll go to the next day. This would have been an okay partial right here. Okay, before we go to the next day, let's take a look at the daily once again. So I thought, you know, we were gonna go into it. We had let's see, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We've went up. Now we started straight above this CBC. I wanted price to remain in the lower half. Did not happen. I guess we came down about half of the large fair value gap. Halfway is about here. All the bodies have maintained above that, and we've traded back above this CB now. In fact, we closed the day above it. So may turn my attention to the upside now going into this later half of the week, looking for the buy side up here. Okay, keep that in mind as we go into the hourly, or the, I'm gonna go 4 hour, just a quick look. So we are back into this fair value gap, so there is a chance we could still go down, but we need to start taking out these lows. If we don't, then I guess we're going to be aiming for the buy side liquidity. All right, Going into the next day, the 11th, 8:05 or 8:15. The buy side's up there. Now there is a small, I don't know if you can see, it's kind of hard to see, but there is a small buy side right here. Looks like it didn't get swept. It just barely touched it. If we start going down, first partial would be right here. Second partial will be here. I guess I'll close my trade. If we do get a trade, we'll close it down here at this target. All right, so going down to a 15-minute. Did we actually sweep it? No, it barely. So created equal highs. I think the 930 bell, we could come and take it. Now, what I want to see is I want to see a sweep of it. I don't want to see we close above it and start keep going higher and higher, higher. I want to see us take the highs and then come back down. Okay, we had some big news today, probably CPI. I don't exactly know, but on the 830 candle, we did sweep the high and then we started going lower. Obviously, there was no trade for us. Let's just see what lower targets we still have left. So this low did get taken? I'm not sure. I'm gonna label it out. Yeah, it did poke right below it. And so you'll see that this P1 is gonna be my first partial target. Should we have a trade? You can see it barely poked underneath it, but it's very close. So I think we can go for this one more time, but gonna wait for a fair value gap. Now with 830, so here we have a fair value gap, but this high is pretty high. If I let's check out the price. I mean, the risk is gonna be enormous. All right, so let's say I take it here, 973, and this is like 17,056. So too big of a risk. Definitely not gonna be taking that, but this is a good place to look for confirmation. Sorry, just cleaning up. Now we did start going lower. I mean, if it keeps going lower, there is a fair value gap here. Let's press this out. I want to see this section right here. There is a small fair value gap here. See that? So we could aim for it. How do I do this? Let me just put a price level here. And let's see what the risk would be. So the high of the fair value gap with here. See, even though we have a fair value gap here, about 31 points, not too bad. The problem is that I don't really like how this is such a small fair value gap. This is a large one. I think we could come back into here. So just gonna wait for confirmation. I'm not gonna worry about the small fair value gap. Okay, so I mean, if you want to take it, you can take it right now, but I little not significant enough. Okay, so we're gonna wait for 930, see what happens. I think 930, if we can come back into the large fair value gap, just like that, as you can see. Remember, the risk is too much here. Now, if you want to move your risk down lower, so for example, you move the price down, I don't know, above this high, for example, that's still a pretty big risk. So what I'm looking for is I want to see confirmation here. I want to see it's already gotten to this inefficiency, but I want to see a fair value gap going down. And I think you gotta wait for confirmation. You have to have the risk up here. It's gonna take it, but let's see what happens. We could just keep going higher. Okay, so finally we got a fair value gap here. If we start with an entry here, and then the risk, of course, will have to be up here. On the high, kind of much, right? That's 990. That's like 53. Yeah, that's still a little bit too much. All right, let's take a look here. 9,900. So let me pull up a calculator. Okay, so 9915. We're going to take 1% of that. So, and then of course divided by 2 to get the points. We have 49.5 points available. So we take 17,043 minus 49.5 points. So if price reaches 993.5, potentially we could take it. So let's just mark it out at this one, 993.5. We'll go ahead and take one contract, take a shot. If it reaches that, we'll enter, and our stop is up here. Okay. See if it works out. This will be our first shot of the day. Didn't get there, created another fair value gap. Might be one of those days where the risk is just too much for us. Yeah, definitely the risk was too much, but definitely starting to go and break down to the downside. So we could go for our P1 target. Hopefully we get some retracement back up, so we can try to enter one more time. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the risk here. If we're going to risk this fair value gap, I, and let's say our entry is down over here, get rid of this price level in the way. All right, so it's going to be 961.5. Is that going to be too much is the question. I'll prep this spreadsheet. Let's take a look. If we enter at 16,893.25 and our risk is 16,961.5, that is over 1%. Too risky for us. Now, what we can do is take that 16,961.5 minus that 49.5, right? That would be our limit. If it comes up to 912, we can try to take it there. So 912. Take an entry here, see if it works out. Remember, we're aiming for that P1 target. Definitely going to be at least 101. Okay, so we're in trade here. Let's go ahead and put it in our spreadsheet. We entered at 16,912. The risk is the same, and we're aiming for the low for the P1 target here at 779. Okay, I like how we went below this fair value gap. I want to see this become inversion. If we take out this low, then I guess we could move the stop loss above like here. That way we get at least break even. But remember, the model for me is I'm not going to be moving it to break even unless I take my first partial, which is going to be that P1, and then boom, we got it. So, and only one contract, so pretty much just done for the day here. Remember, one win, I am done for the day. So, oh, I have an entry already. So here we have that 16,779. And I think there was one metric there was one metric I forgot. I'll have to go back and fill out this information. I totally forgot to, add these back in. I'll go back, fill them out, and we'll have it for the next video. Okay, but anyways, pretty good trade, 2.6 to 1. So back above our starting 10,000. Pretty good for today. Now let's take a look at what happened at the end of the day. And today was Thursday, so we got one more day left for this week. And this video is already like 36 minutes long or so. I think I'm just gonna have to do live streams for these. Oh, we got out pretty much at the low of the day, which was nice because it came back and we would have gotten stopped out. So pretty lucky today. So let's go ahead and take a look at the daily for the next day. So we did go back in, but see this giant wick? We went in, but then like we came back out of it and we closed once again above this fair value gap. So I don't know. I want this daily void, but we may not get that. It looks like we may be aiming for another high. Now, the one thing that we have going is that we did come back into this fair value gap. So I don't know. I'm kind of stuck between. I want to say like I'm gonna be having a neutral bias going into next. We're just gonna have to just see how it goes and probably just take like a scalp or something. Okay. Anyways, the P1 target's gone. Let's go into the 1 hour and go into the next day. 8 o'clock as always. Okay, so what do we have here? Down here, this low that we created yesterday, this is going to be the P1 target to the downside. Now we do have these relative highs here. I want to see this get swept if we're going to continue down to the downside. We are in this fair value gap here. So if we are going up for this high, we've already swept some sell side down over here where it went back into this inefficiency. So if we start going up, I don't know. Don't really want to go long. We are staying in the upper portion of this fair value gap. I think it's tough to say. I don't know. Let's go into the 15-minute. I guess we could aim for these highs since we've already swept these lows and we went to the inefficiency. If we see a displacement, we can aim for these lows as a short-term scalp. I mean that's what I can say. But once we take these highs, I want to look for a displacement lower, and then we can aim for this low. But I guess initially we'll aim for these highs, and then if we don't get an entry, then we can aim for this low. But I don't really want to keep going higher and higher, even though we do have that buy side. Maybe that's going to be saved for next week. So already see a little bit of displacement here. This fair value gap was rebalanced, and then we started leaving it. Not strong displacement just yet. Let's go ahead and see what 830 gives us. Okay, now I'm also willing to go short if we just take this high and start going lower. This high right here. Okay, so pretty big displacement up. Potentially, we could go for those highs if we get enough of a retracement. Okay, so just take these highs up here. If we start going lower, then yeah, sure, we could go for a short, but I would like to see that high get taken first. This high get taken before we try to go lower. I think this is too big of a risk, right? And I need to start just displaying the price on default. Okay. All right, so this would be the risk. in, I don't know, like 940, kind of much, if it comes back up to this high, 928, that's gonna be what, 33 or so, 33, and the price up here, I guess that's 101, right? So if we see that it is supporting around this area, could enter long, but I don't know, maybe I'll just wait for confirmation. I think those highs are going to get taken. Okay, there we go. Now I want to see displacement lower. I don't want to see it keep going up and up and up. I want to see it go lower. Okay, we're already past 930. We did come back up to touch the with this fair value gap here. All right, so now we're getting displacement lower. This is what I want to see. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit. This fair value gap was, I think it was on the daily. I'm not gonna go to the daily, but I think it was the daily. Let's see, the high here was 1743. This is 1742. So relative equal highs, didn't take that out just yet. Now we did get displacement on the 5-minute. I'm looking for this low right here. This is going to be the first partial if I go ahead and take short. This is going to be the first partial, not this P1. I would like this P1 to get taken, but this is going to be the first partial. If I had two contracts, I'll take one off here and one off here. But let's go back into the 5-minute, see if we actually have an entry here. So we could have a fair value gap entry, with this being the risk at 37 and the entry here at 88. It's going to be just enough, I think, for one contract. So move this. Let's just reference the spreadsheet. 1 second, guys. I closed the spreadsheet out for some reason. Okay. Okay. So let's see, today is the 12th. Not. Okay. So let's say if we go for another short, one contract, enter at 6988.25, and then 17,037.75 with the risk, just under 1%. So yeah, we can definitely go ahead and try for this. Now I'm gonna double check just to make sure this candle closed. This is at 10 o'clock, so 10:05 definitely closed in. I'm gonna go to the next one. If we get updated and this candle is a little bit higher, my entry will be a little higher. I will go ahead and adjust that as well. But let's go ahead and skip forward. Okay, make sure. Okay, so the candle did close, and I went in with one contract. So with one contract, I mean, technically my partial could be up here, but I feel like if we this was a big run up. If we get below this, we could go lower. So I'm gonna go ahead and aim for this as my first partial. But I will be safe. If we take this low out, I will adjust my stop to break even. Okay, we'll do it that way. I like how this fair value gap did not get closed in on the way, so this could be a breakaway gap. I like how it's going lower, but I want to see more fair value gap. Okay, I don't like seeing that. So we did come back, rebalance this some, but we are coming back up. I don't like seeing this. I'm gonna keep my stop there still. We could take out this high, rebalance this fair value gap some more, but I really don't want to see it go higher. So we'll see how it plays out. I do like seeing this drop. Okay, hopefully this fair value gap will hold up. Now, if you want at this point, you could move your stop to break even, right? To be safe. It is getting close to 12 o'clock. But I'm gonna go ahead and just leave my stop up here. We could take out these highs once again. I like how we tapped into this fair value gap and we start dropping lower. Now, if we take out this low, then I'll play it safe and just move my stop to break even. Looks like it's okay. So we are getting past 12 o'clock. 12:15. So you know what? Let's go to the 12:15 candle. Wherever it closed right here, we'll just go ahead and exit out. Our time is up. So we didn't get our first partial target. I think it could go there in the afternoon, but I'm just gonna close it out based off of time. So it is what it is. It is what it is. So 16,950.5, a little bit better than, you know, half to one. At least we're still positive. Let's just go ahead and take a look at what the end of the day looks like. We'll take a look at the daily chart as well and then close it out for this video. It's already gone on long enough. So as you can see, pretty much just consolidated for the rest of the day. Like getting out at that 12.15 price was actually not bad because otherwise we probably would have closed higher. So yeah, not too shabby. Didn't get the low. We didn't get this low. Did not even get taken out. This low didn't get taken out either. So pretty sideways. All right, so clean the chart up. We'll take a look at the daily and close out this video. Or maybe I should just, you know what? I'm just going to close it out now and save the daily for next time. So thank you guys for watching. We will come back for week 3 of this back testing. Down 2 weeks. Still got what, 50 more left. Anyways, catch you next time. Until then, safe trading.